Welcome back to my channel BBC Rare Coins. We're diving into the story behind one of America's most iconic pieces of currency, the Washington quarter dollar. So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's flip through the legacy of the Washington quarter. Top 1. They say change is just change. But what if one coin from 1965 could be worth up to $75,000? The 1965 Washington quarter, a coin millions overlooked, is now one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever discovered. In 1964, quarters were made of 90% silver. But starting in 1965, the U.S. Mint changed the composition to copper-nickel clad due to the rising cost of silver. It was supposed to be the end of silver quarters. But something rare happened that a small number of 1,965 quarters were mistakenly struck on silver blanks, leftover planchets from the previous year. These coins look nearly identical to regular 1965 quarters, but they were never meant to exist. They're rare. They're real, and they've sold for tens of thousands of dollars. The key is the weight. A normal clad 1965 quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but a silver one? Around 6.25 grams, the same as a 1964 silver quarter. That small difference can mean a massive payday. One of these rare silver 1965 quarters sold for $7,050. Another fetched over $35,000. And one near-perfect example? It sold for an unbelievable $75,000. Most people have no idea these exist. They've been found in old collections, change jars, even pocket change. It's a modern treasure hunt hiding in plain sight. It looks like an ordinary coin, but it's anything but ordinary. This isn't just a story about money. It's about history, mistakes, and the thrill of the unexpected. Check your quarters, because the next one you find might be worth $75,000. Top 2. What if I told you a simple 1972 Washington quarter could be worth $71,000? Sounds impossible, right? But it's true. This isn't just any coin. It's one of the rarest and most valuable Washington quarters ever discovered. The year was 1972. Millions of quarters rolled out of the U.S. Mint. Business as usual. Most ended up in pockets, piggy banks, vending machines forgotten as spare change. But deep in that mountain of coins, a few slipped through the cracks. Coins with minting errors so rare, they've become legendary. The 1972 Washington quarter error isn't something flashy. It doesn't scream treasure. That's what makes it dangerous and valuable. It hides in plain sight. Collectors have discovered off-metal strikes, where the quarter was accidentally minted on the wrong metal, like a dime planchet. Others found double dice, where the design appears to be stamped twice, creating a haunting shadow effect around the letters and numbers. Some have dramatic off-center strikes, or even missing ridges, but the Holy Grail, a perfectly preserved 1972 quarter with a combination of rare minting flaws in pristine condition. That's the one that rocked the coin world when it sold for an eye-watering $71,000. It didn't look like anything special at first glance, but under a magnifying glass, it told a different story. Why is it so valuable? Because it shouldn't exist. Because it's flawless where it shouldn't be. Because it combines multiple rare errors in a single coin. And because only a tiny handful like it are known to exist. Maybe just one. That's the power of the 1972 quarter. It's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable things are hiding right in front of us. In your change jar. In your glove box. In a drawer that hasn't been opened in years. Imagine digging through your old coins and seeing a 1972 quarter. You flip it over. Something feels off. You weigh it. It's lighter. Or heavier. You look closer and realize the rim is different. Or the letters are double. Or the strike is off-center. You might be holding a $71,000 coin. This isn't just about collecting. It's about the thrill of discovery, the hunt, and the history locked inside a coin that passed through countless hands, unaware of its true value. So go check your quarters. Dig out that old coin jar, because the most valuable 1972 Washington quarter in history could be sitting right under your nose. Top 3. What if I told you that a single quarter from 1980, yes, just a regular Washington quarter, could be worth an astonishing $67,000? It sounds unbelievable, but this isn't just a story about a coin. It's about a rare mistake, a twist of fate, and one of the most sought-after errors in the history of American currency. In 1980, the U.S. Mint produced millions upon millions of Washington quarters. Most of them were ordinary, copper-nickel-clad coins destined for everyday transactions, passing from hand to hand without anyone giving them a second thought. But buried deep within that massive production run was a tiny handful of coins that broke all the rules. Coins that were struck on the wrong metal planchet, coins with off-center strikes so severe they look like abstract art, coins with double dies that make George Washington's profile and lettering appear blurry or shadowed. The kinds of errors that send collectors into a frenzy. Let's take a closer look at what makes the 1980 Washington quarter error coin so incredibly valuable. First, imagine the process inside the mint. Metal sheets are punched into round blanks called planchets, which then get stamped with the coin's design. Normally, each planchet matches the coin it's supposed to become, but every so often, mistakes happen. In the case of the 1980 quarter, some coins were mistakenly struck on planchets intended for other denominations or even foreign coins, planchets made of different metal alloys with slightly different weights and thicknesses. This creates a coin that feels and looks unusual, but still bears the unmistakable face of George Washington. Then, there are the off-center strikes. Instead of the design being perfectly centered, some coins show the image shifted dramatically toward the edge, cutting off parts of Washington's hair, the date, or the lettering. These mistakes are rare and highly prized because they're visually striking and instantly recognizable as errors. But what really sends the value skyrocketing is when multiple errors combine on one coin. A 1980 quarter with both an off-metal planchet and a double die or a severe off-center strike is basically a once-in-a-generation find. It's a coin that collectors fight over, a coin that becomes the star of any collection, and a coin that can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. One of these extraordinary 1980 Washington quarters, preserved in near-mint condition with a perfect storm of errors, recently sold for an eye-popping $67,000. This coin isn't just rare, it's a tangible piece of mint history, a moment frozen in metal where human error created something uniquely valuable. Think about that for a moment. A quarter, worth 25 cents in 1980, transformed into a $67,000 treasure simply because of a minting mishap. And this isn't a one-time fluke. Other 1980 quarters with lesser errors have sold for thousands, showing just how deep the collector market goes for these rare coins. What does this mean for you? It means the next time you empty your pockets or dig through that old jar of change, you should take a second look at your quarters. That ordinary coin you've always ignored could be the key to unlocking a small fortune. Here's how to spot the clues. Weigh the coin. Does it feel heavier or lighter than a standard quarter? The off-metal planchets have a different density. Look closely at the edges. Are there any clipped areas or uneven ridges? Check the design. Is the strike perfectly centered, or is the image cut off? Examine the lettering and numbers for doubling, a ghost-like second impression just off to the side. Even the smallest irregularity can mean thousands of dollars. Collectors spend years hunting for coins like this, and experts often uncover new finds in the most unexpected places: old collections, estate sales, even loose change passed down from relatives. This story isn't just about money. It's about discovery, history, and the thrill of finding something extraordinary hidden inside the ordinary. The 1980 Washington quarter, once a simple everyday coin, has become a viral sensation among coin collectors and treasure hunters. And with a price tag as high as $67,000, it stands as a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest treasures are hiding right in front of you. So next time you're handed a quarter, take a closer look. The rarest and most valuable quarter of your lifetime might be quietly waiting to be found, and if you're lucky, it could change your life forever. Top 4. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks just like any other Washington quarter from 1990, the kind you've used for decades, the kind you might find forgotten in the bottom of a drawer or tossed into a piggy bank. But what if I told you that one rare 1990 Washington quarter could be worth a staggering $66,000? This isn't just a rumor or a fantasy. It's one of the most incredible stories in modern American coin collecting. The 1990 Washington quarter, at first glance, seems completely ordinary. It bears the familiar image of George Washington on the front, the classic eagle on the back, and the usual copper-nickel-clad finish. But buried within the millions minted that year was a tiny handful of coins that broke the rules of minting. Coins so rare and unusual, they've become legendary. One of the most valuable errors discovered on the 1990 quarter is the infamous off-metal strike. During the minting process, some quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other coins, sometimes even foreign ones. This means a quarter could be made of a different metal alloy or have a completely different weight and thickness. These subtle differences give the coin a unique feel and look, almost like a secret code only collectors know how to read. Another rare and sought-after mistake is the double die error, where the coin's design appears to be stamped twice. The doubling is most visible on the letters, date, or George Washington's profile, giving the coin a ghostly or shadowed effect. These errors are incredibly rare and highly desirable, especially when found on a modern coin like the 1990 quarter. But the crown jewel among these rare coins is one with a perfect combination of errors: an off-metal strike paired with a dramatic off-center strike and a bold double die. This trifecta of mistakes is practically unheard of. A coin like this in pristine condition recently sold for an unbelievable $66,000, shocking the coin collecting world and turning heads from seasoned numismatists to casual hobbyists. Why does this coin command such a high price? It's simple: rarity, condition, and the story it tells. Mistakes in the minting process are incredibly uncommon, especially ones that combine multiple errors on a single coin. When they do appear, collectors fight fiercely to add these treasures to their collections. And because only a handful are known to exist, the value skyrockets. What's more fascinating is that this coin doesn't shout "rare error" when you first see it. It looks just like every other 1990 quarter. The difference lies in the details. A slight shift in the design, a change in the metal's weight, a doubled letter or two. It takes a trained eye and sometimes special tools to uncover its true worth. This is the magic of coin collecting, the thrill of discovery. The 1990 Washington quarter worth $66,000 proves that even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary value. The next time you find yourself with a handful of quarters, it might be worth a moment to examine them closely. You could be holding the key to an incredible story and a life-changing fortune. This rare 1990 quarter isn't just money. It's a piece of history, a symbol of the unpredictable nature of minting, and a reminder that sometimes fortune favors the curious. So keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass handy, and your mind ready for the unexpected, because the next great coin discovery could be hiding in your very own change jar. Top 5. What if I told you that a simple Washington quarter from 1992, the kind of coin you've probably used hundreds of times, could be worth an astonishing $64,000? It sounds unbelievable, but this particular 1992 quarter is one of the rarest and most valuable coins in American history, and its story has gone viral among collectors and treasure hunters alike. The 1992 Washington quarter was minted in the millions, a common coin that circulated freely across the country. But hidden among those ordinary coins is a tiny handful that broke all the rules, coins with mistakes so rare, so unique, that they've become legends in the numismatic world. The magic lies in the errors, and for this 1992 quarter, the most famous mistake is the off-metal strike. During the minting process, some quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other coins, sometimes even foreign coins. This means the metal composition, weight, and thickness of these quarters are all wrong, making them incredibly unusual. These off-metal coins don't just look different, they feel different too, heavier or lighter than the typical quarter, with a slightly altered color or texture. Another rare and sought-after feature of the 1992 quarter is the double die error. This error causes the design to appear doubled or shadowed, especially noticeable around George Washington's profile, the date, or the lettering. This doubling happens when the coin's design is stamped more than once, slightly off alignment, creating a ghost-like second image that collectors instantly recognize as valuable. What makes the 1992 quarter truly priceless is when these errors combine. An off-metal strike paired with a bold double die and an off-center strike. This trifecta of mistakes is incredibly rare, making each coin a one-of-a-kind treasure. One such coin, preserved in near-perfect condition, recently sold for an eye-popping $64,000. Why does this coin command such a massive price? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and demand. Minting errors are naturally scarce, and when you have a coin that features multiple errors, it becomes a holy grail for collectors. The better the condition, the higher the value, and this particular 1992 quarter checks every box. What's truly fascinating is that the coin looks almost normal at first glance. It doesn't scream valuable like gold or platinum. Instead, the difference is subtle, hidden in the details. A slight shift in the design, an unusual weight, A doubled letter or two, only a careful eye or expert analysis reveals the coin's true worth. This 1992 Washington quarter is more than just a rare coin. It's a story of chance, history, and the thrill of discovery. It's proof that sometimes, ordinary objects can hide extraordinary value, just waiting for someone to notice. So next time you grab a handful of quarters, take a moment to examine them closely. That unassuming 1992 quarter might be your ticket to a fortune, worth as much as $64,000. It's a powerful reminder that treasures often hide in the most unexpected places, and the hunt for rare coins is a journey full of surprises. Keep your eyes sharp, your curiosity alive, and maybe, just maybe, the next great coin find is waiting for you right in your pocket.